Back on with news just coming through on the Bengal Chief Secretary or the former Bengal Chief Secretary Alapan Bandyopadhyay, who has reportedly submitted a 4-page reply. Central government sources are saying the reply will be studied and if needed legal opinion will be sought before the next course of action is decided. Arunima now joins us. Arunima, do we know the contents of the reply and is the government largely satisfied with it?
No, we don't know the exact content of the reply yet. All we know is that it is a 4-page response, like you just pointed out. And the preliminary assessment seems to be that the reply is quote-unquote conciliatory in nature. Now, we don't really know what that means because we don't know the exact content of that 4-page letter. We'll have to wait and see. But what government officials here in Delhi are also telling us is that before taking any decision, they're going to wait and see if legal opinion is required. And once that legal opinion comes, further course of action will be decided.
Well, thanks for your input, Arunima. Moving on to another story. The Indian Union Muslim League has moved the Supreme Court opposing the centre's notification identifying 13 districts where citizens of nations, neighbouring Islamic nations, who have fled those nations due to religious persecution, have come and sought refuge in India, not yesterday and day before, but for decades, some of them close to decades or others many, many years. To give them recognition under Section 5 and Section 6 of the Citizenship Act 1955. The Citizenship Amendment Act 2019 doesn't come into play here. But here is their ground. Why is it? And what is it that they've moved the court to? The IUML is seeking a stay on the MHA order on India's citizenship for non-Muslims or minorities, persecuted minorities from neighbouring Islamic nations. IUML is challenging it on the basis of constitutional validity of the MHA's order. They are also of the position that the order allows citizenship to non-Muslims from Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh. And they say, and this is the reality, it's refugees from 13 districts who can actually apply for citizenship. They have refugees, they've sought refuge in our country, okay? Centre is giving backdoor entry to non-Muslims is the IUML's position. Now, why is it that this plea might not stand or you would question the grounds for it? The citizenship application has been sought under the 1955 Citizenship Act, the original Citizenship Act. The centre can exercise the powers for registration as citizen of India under Section 5, and there are multiple clauses there. The refugees are eligible to apply for Indian citizenship after fulfilling the requirements. MHA is naturalizing refugees under the existing laws, and that there is no link to the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019 as rules have not yet been fully framed. So that has not yet been invoked. So isn't it the IUML that is pursuing a communal agenda here, where they have a serious problem with persecuted minorities from neighbouring Islamic nations, so neighbouring Islamic nations, non-Muslim denominations coming to India, seeking refuge here, which was a partition agreement. And it was a basis of partition itself. And their suffering is a problem for the IUML because they believe, how can India allow citizenship to those non-Muslims only? So it's a very convenient interpretation which has come through. So who is communal in their bent of mind is a larger question. Sardar R.P. Singh, spokesperson of the BJP with us. Advocate Mohammad Shah, member of the IUML National Executive is with us. And Jay Ahuja, president of Nimittakaam, an NGO in Jaipur which has been working actively with such refugees who have fled Pakistan, West Pakistan and Afghanistan and sought refuge in Jaipur, Jodhpur and some parts of Gujarat and also in the national capital. So let's try and understand from Advocate Mohammad Shah, what is the problem, sir?
Here the issue is what you said is that 1955 Act is only in play, 2019 CAA is not in action. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Now, the new order dated 25/5/2021 has been issued under Section 16 of the Citizenship Act. That order says that under Section 5 and Section 6 of the Citizenship Act, you can invite application. The conductors of 13 districts and five states can invite application online and they can consider it they can issue citizenship certificate to the persons who came from 3 countries who are not belonging to a Muslim religion, other 6 religious states. Here the issue is, you say that if 2019 CAA is not there, whether they can apply. Because 2019 CAA speaks that is an additional proviso under Section 2(1) of the Citizenship Act, in which an exemption is granted to. That is the definition of the illegal migrants exempted these categories of persons from becoming illegal migrants. So if they are illegal migrants, they cannot apply under Section 5 or Section 6. So if they are legal migrants only, they can file application under Section 5 or Section 6. So when you say that there is no connection between 2019 CA, it is wrong, because they cannot file application otherwise. That is the issue, first one. Second one, we are not against giving citizenship to any person who fled from any place. What we are saying is that, you said about refugee, they are speaking about migrants. Whatever be that, a refugee come to a country due to several reasons. One can be due to war. Second one, that can be due to natural calamity. Then persecution can be a reason. It can be political persecution or religious persecution. We are having several countries in our nearby. What about India or Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh is there? What about Burma? What about Bhutan? What about Nepal? What about Sri Lanka? Are there people? They are having human rights also. They came from Tamil Nadu. We can see persons coming from Sri Lanka because they are minorities. They are Tamilians in Sri Lanka. They are also having the very same. We are speaking about human rights. When I am saying that all the persons who reached India as migrants or refugees, those persons are entitled to get. They may be given.
Yeah, but Mr. Mohammed Shah, aren't you being very convenient with your argument? You're being very convenient with your argument because India, Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh were linked because they were undivided India. Burma was never part of undivided India, nor was Sri Lanka. Nor was Sri Lanka. One minute, hear me out. The persecution, and I'll tell you how Afghanistan. Because when partition happened, sir, partition happened on the basis of religion, and the Muslim League should know it very well because the Muslim League advocated for it, and they wanted a separate land where 35% of our country, the erstwhile India or Bharat, was broken away as Pakistan, a separate land for Muslims only. So all those who are non-Muslims had to come to Hindustan and come and live here. And that's when this entire exodus happened, and the agreement between Nehru and Liaquat Ali was that those who wanted to leave Pakistan and had wanted and were not could not seek a refuge, they can come and India will accommodate them. That was the case. And when this persecution and when this fleeing because of religious denomination, saying non-Muslims cannot live in Pakistan happened, some fled to Afghanistan. For all those who are in the FATA area and in the northwestern frontier province, they fled to Afghanistan and a lot of them came to India. That is what happened. That's the backdrop to this. Same way with 1971 and the Bangladesh partition, East Pakistan, and after Bangladesh, a lot of them who are non-Muslims fled to India and sought refuge here. The number of people who are asking for citizenship are those who have come here and lived here for close to 9 to 10 years already, and they are living in ignominy, if not more. The other aspect, Citizenship Act Amendment of 2019, it's not in play yet. But please remember, that also talks about only those people who have come to India on or before the 31st of December 2014. As of May 2021, it's close to 7 years that they are already here. Close to 7 years that they are already here. I'm not even getting into 2019. But the other aspect, Mr. Shah, is that the same notification was also issued a few years ago for 16 districts. Jai Ahuja joins us. Jai Ahuja, do you agree with Mohammed Shah's contention? Jai Ahuja, I can't hear you. Yeah, go ahead please. Now we can. जी.
एक्चुअली मोहम्मद शाह साहब जो भी बात कह रहे हैं ये पूरी तरह से मैनिपुलेटेड और झूठ पर आधारित है। आप ये देखिए 1955 के एक्ट में ऑलरेडी कांग्रेस की रिजीम में बहुत सारे कलेक्टर्स को पावर दिए गए 2004 से 6 के बीच में 9 स्टेट्स में हर कलेक्टर को दिए गए, इनफैक्ट सेलेक्टिव को नहीं। और उस समय 17,000 लोगों को सेम क्लॉज में सेक्शन 51A और सेक्शन 5 के अंतर्गत नागरिकता दी गई, नॉन मुस्लिम्स फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान एंड अफगानिस्तान। ये हो चुका है। एक दूसरी बात ये कह रहे हैं लीगल और इलीगल माइग्रेंट। मेरी चुनौती है कि पाकिस्तान और अफगानिस्तान से आए हुए एक भी माइग्रेंट को इलीगल साबित करके दिखाएं। सभी लोग पासपोर्ट लेके आए हैं जो पिछले 30 साल में आए हैं। सभी लोग वीजा लेके आए हैं, सभी लोग अपने अपने लोकल एफआरओ सीआईडी के ऑफिस में रजिस्टर्ड है। हाँ, निर्धनता के कारण किसी का पासपोर्ट एक्सपायर हो गया हो या वीजा एक्सटेंड नहीं करा पाए हो क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा गरीब लोग हैं, ये केस हो सकता है। लेकिन वो छुप के नहीं आए, फेंस क्रॉस करके नहीं आए और अपनी पहचान छुपा के नहीं आए और अपनी जगह से कभी भी गायब नहीं हुए और कभी भी भारत विरोधी कोई काम उन्होंने नहीं किया है। तो आप इन लोगों को इलीगल माइग्रेंट कैसे कह सकते हैं? आप तो झूठ बोल रहे हैं नेशनल मीडिया पे आकर के। तो कृपया मोहम्मद साहब, मैं आपसे यही कहना चाहूंगा कि झूठ ना बोलें। आपका अपना पक्ष हो सकता है लेकिन आपके पक्ष में तथ्य नहीं है, क्योंकि 1955 के एक्ट के सेक्शन 51A में लगातार सालों साल से नागरिकताएं होती आ रही हैं। 1994 में जब असम अकॉर्ड लागू हुआ तो असम सेपरेटिस्ट की जो संधि की पहली शर्त थी वो ये थी कि आप कलेक्टर से पावर विड्रॉ कर लीजिए, क्योंकि कलेक्टर अपनी पावर का मिसयूज करके गलत लोगों को भी नागरिकता देते हैं। और वहां से कलेक्टर से पावर विड्रॉ हुई, जो समय समय पर कलेक्टर्स को देकर के बैकलॉग खत्म करने का काम भारत सरकार के द्वारा किया जाता है। ये यूपीए की सरकार भी कर चुकी है, यूपीए 1 में, और मोदी जी एनडीए 1 भी कर चुकी है मोदी जी की सरकार, और अभी एनडीए 2 में दोबारा से 13 डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऐड किए गए हैं 16 जी।
Mohammed Shah Sahab, you want to respond before I bring in Sardar RP Singh? Mr. Shah, do you want to respond before I bring in Sardar RP Singh?
Myself?
Yes, sir, yes.
Yes, yes. The only point, I am having a shortfall in understanding Hindi much because I am calling from Kerala. What I am saying is my friends say that, only point is that whether, my friend, let him read Section 5 and Section 6 of the Citizenship Act. Section 5 and Section 6 will not permit an application who is an illegal migrant to obtain a citizenship under registration for naturalization.
Yeah, but this
my
note does not.
Is,
but,
my point. May I complete?
Yeah,
Citizenship Amendment Act speaks about illegal migrants who are all not illegal migrants. That was the Amendment 6. We challenge before the Supreme Court. In the Supreme Court on 16/1/2020, the central government undertook that we have to frame some rules because of the reason.
Correct.
That
But sir, this notification you're challenging is not on the basis of Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. You're conflating issues. This current notice that has come in also does not talk about illegal migrants. It talks about refugees who are registered with documents, sir.
2019, may I ask the question? If 2019 amendment is not there, whether these persons can file an application, whether it's a legal application, because they are illegal migrants.
Sir,
you read Section 5(1).
Sir, you are again conflating issues. You didn't hear. That is what. Okay, Jaya Ahuja, please explain to him in English. Yeah.
Sir, Mohammed Shah Sahab, it is my humble request and my open challenge to you. Just prove a single migrant from Afghanistan and Pakistan who are non-Muslims, who are persecuted minorities, are illegal. Just show me one case only across the country. It is my humble request and challenge also, because I am working on this issue since last 10 years, and more than 3,000 people got citizenship under this section with the help of our NGO since 2016 to till today. Today, 7 more people got citizenship from Jaipur Collectorate. So not a single case is getting citizenship granted from the collector's office in Jaipur or Jodhpur or Jaisalmer in our state or Ahmedabad or Bhopal or any place. Sir, please let me complete, sir. Sir, let me complete. Since last 30 years, every single minority from Pakistan came with the visa and passport. They all are registered with the local FRO CID offices. We pursue their application with the legal system on the website of Ministry of Home Affairs with the more than 100 page their file prepared with that. And we always submit a copy of all the documents, physical copy to the collectorate, local relevant collectorate. So there is not a single case from Afghanistan and Pakistan whose case
the thing here, I'll tell you, here is the contest. The point is that so far they have not contested it or challenged it. It's because this order has been issued at a time when they have made the CAA issue about Muslims. Look at the argument that he presents. The whole argument is that what about Burma? What did Burma have to do with the partition in our country? Why is the IUML not turning around and asking Pakistan, why are people fleeing your country and coming to mine? Why do they have to flee? And why are they claiming religious persecution in the name of Islam? Why are these people being tortured? Because they are non-Muslims. The question to be asked is, sir, the nations which are linked to each other and which had a fallout of partition are the nations that are to come into play. Why are you bringing in nations that are not your concern? The IUML should actually plead the International Court of Justice and ask, why is the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the 56 Muslim nations have refused to take Rohingya Muslims if they are so worried about Burmese Muslims and Muslims who are fleeing their country?
Let me give the answer about Burma. Let me give the answer about Nepal. Let me give the answer about Bhutan.
So, and none of these people.
What about Sri Lanka?
No, sir. Sri Lanka also, sir. Sri Lanka also, Tamils who fled Sri Lanka were accommodated in Tamil Nadu, and there were a special provision and a separate amendment that was made. It was done during the time of strife and it happened, sir. It is not that it didn't happen. Don't try and conflate issues, sir. Please, you're deliberately trying to do it because you have a problem that how can you mention only these people and you cannot mention Muslims. But the Muslims went there because they wanted a separate land. They broke this country because they wanted a separate land in the name of Islam and in the name of for Muslims only. But Sardar RP Singh, how would you want to respond to the IUML's No, how would you want to respond to the IUML's agenda? They are moving the court on what grounds? And how is the BJP going to defend this, sir? How is the government? Now let Sardar RP Singh speak, please. Yes.
Sir. Thank you so much, sir. See, it's very clear IUML has a political agenda and they are doing it only for a political objective because they cater to they are a communal party, they cater to political community and they are doing so for their political agenda. And that's very clear. And then courts will obviously turn it down on a legal ground because it's not happening for the first time. This happened earlier also in UP regime, but now they have to create that noise against the present regime and especially against Prime Minister Modi that, he's against Muslims. That's not true. And sir, this is only confined to religious prosecution. There can be many more reasons for prosecution. There can be political prosecution. There can be other reasons for prosecution. But this is only defined to religious prosecution, and that's happening ongoingly in Bangladesh and in Pakistan. There's no doubt in it. But ask my community. People have suffered. Daughters of my community have been kidnapped, converted, and it's happening ongoingly. We are meager, minuscule, negligible minority now in Pakistan, and a diminishing minority in Pakistan, and then people are forced to convert. So what is the option? But sir, what about you're talking about Muslim?
May I answer?
Sir, you said, another second. You have, sir, Anand, you referred about Rohingyas not being separated. Rohingyas are not being separated even by Bangladesh. They refuse to accept them. Now, that's their issue. Who accept? Who doesn't accept? But this is only confined, and that's not 2019 CAA in implementation. This is only confined to 1955 Act under section 5 and 6, where religious prosecuted minorities have been asked in certain districts, and which is an ongoing process. But since they need
this ongoing process, sir, these people have been waiting for 6 to 7 years now. More than 7 years. They have been waiting. And Jaya Ahuja wanted to say.
Confirm that. What is the procedure adopted to find out that
Sir, what do you mean? What is the procedure? What is the procedure that has been? It's the same procedure with which these people have been naturalized for the last decade and a half. What is your problem, sir? The process of verification, sir. Have you turned around and asked the Bengal government what is the process of verification of those people who are claiming to be Indians but they are not? Very clearly, they don't have the valid numbers. They don't have the valid entry. How are they entry? Illegals. The number of illegals who are there in Kerala. Have you turned around and said what are these people doing here in this country and how are they trying to naturalize and how have they created? Have you asked those questions? How are these Muslims coming in from Bangladesh? How are they coming here into our country and then naturalizing themselves? You are not asking that question. You are asking a question because there is a certain denomination that's been mentioned and these are non-Muslims. So you have a problem with non-Muslims coming to our country.
No, you are problem with Muslims.
No, sir, I have no problem, sir. I have no problems. I have a problem with non-Indian Muslims coming to our country and causing problems. I have a problem with non-Indian Muslims coming to our country and causing problems. I have no problem with an Indian citizen. I have a problem with an outfit, sir, which voted for the partition of a country. I have a problem with your outfit because you back partition of our country. I have a problem. I don't have a problem with Maulana Abul Kalam Azad and his followers. I don't have a problem for all those who voted for an undivided India and said that India should not be divided, partitioned on the basis of religion. But you, sir, you belong to an organization which backed the partition of our country on the basis of religion. You are the one, sir. You are the one, sir, as part of the erstwhile Muslim League, who wanted a vote on the basis of religion. You wanted this country to be split on the basis of religion, and don't turn around and call your agenda secular. Your agenda is communal, sir. But Jai Ahuja, you wanted to say something. I have limited time. Jai Ahuja. No, sir. I have a problem. I have a problem, sir. I have a problem. I have a problem when an outfit which calls itself a union for Muslims only is trying to come here and talk about a secular outlook. You have a problem. Your agenda is only for Muslims, sir, and you are saying that you have a secular outlook. I have an agenda for my country and the people who have suffered because of the partition that was done on the basis of religion, and you are calling my agenda corrupted. Sir, then you tell me, you sit here on national television and say that the Muslim League fundamentals was wrong, say that Muhammad Ali Jinnah was wrong, say the partition of this country on the basis of religion was wrong and it should be undone. File a plea and say, let's reverse the partition. Let's go back to India as it was, not divided on the name of religion. Jai Ahuja, go ahead, please.
Anandji, one more lie have to be exposed of, gentlemen. That is that he's all, once again he asked about Burmese people, about the Sri Lankans and about Bhutanese. So we are talking about 1955 Act, Citizenship Act 1955, and 1965 clearly states about the territory of the beneficiaries is Afghanistan and Pakistan. So if Pakistan become Bangladesh, so they are natural beneficiaries of the particular 1955 Citizenship Act. So the question, when we are discussing 1955 Act and the government is issuing a notice under 1955 Act, where is Bangladesh? How can Burma come inside? How can Sri Lanka come inside the discussion? How can Bhutan come inside the discussion? So this is a clear-cut lie and manipulated, misleading facts they are presenting, that government is not taking care of other countries. So I want to say that government is doing everything under the light of 1955 Act, and government in Citizenship Amendment Act, we had a suggestion that you have to give.
Sir, I can only say one thing. Hindus. I can only say one thing. Let's hope the courts also look at this petition and understand the motivations behind that. And I am going to request. I am going to request organizations that themselves are branded that they work only for a particular section of society, not to come here and try and preach secularism to anybody. I'm going to wind up the debate. Let's quickly take the coup poll of the day, ladies and gentlemen. The coup poll of the day is the IUML pursuing a communal agenda. 96% of the respondents believe yes, the agenda is communal. When you're trying to challenge naturalization of those who have sought refuge in our country because of religious persecution in neighboring Islamic nations, which are all formed after dividing and splitting India during the partition. We've got to wind up this edition of the Right Stand. Big development coming across. Zaka standing by with brass tacks.